Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to lecture 39. In this lecture we are going to discuss some focused area of traffic and transportation management. In the last lecture we introduced the lecture in transportation management. We mentioned that the basic and salient features of the transportation management, and we also told you that there are the supply side and the demand side of the management. So, today we are going to discuss few cases and few examples so that you understand better. So, in this lecture we are going to discuss the various types of supply and the demand side of management, and out of that the significance and the utility of the public transportation with some of the examples and the cases. We will see some case study, and then we will also have discussion on the non-motorized transportation modes, and apart from that what are the other traffic controls and management available, that also we will just mention. So, let us start with the supply side and demand side. Now, you know that the transportation and the traffic is a basic mobility infrastructure in the cities. It allows common people to transport from one zone to another zone, one place to another place, and it needs a physical area, physical space which we call as a road or the carriageways. And out of the land use breakup, at least 15 to 20% of the total land use is required to be allocated for the transportation infrastructure. So, therefore, it is not only the road infrastructure, it is the allocation of the space, at the same time the construction of the adequate carriageways, and also it is required to have the efficient transportation modes on the road. So, these are required to make the transportation easier for the common people from one place to another place. Now, in this activities two aspect is important. One is that it is not possible to endlessly increase the space allocated for the traffic and transportation. Like in some of the American cities, they have gone for increasing the space for traffic and transportation, and beyond 25%, 30% space is allocated for the traffic and transportation, mainly due to the over emphasis on the privatized vehicle, that is the car, personalized car. But another side which can be also taken into account, that if we limit the road areas and the allocation of the land or the other infrastructure or the amenities for the traffic and transportation up to some limited manner, and we make our the modes, the transportation modes in such a way so that we reduce the privatized vehicle and we use more public vehicle. So, the first part, which is more focused on the enhancing the transportation infrastructure in terms of the land, carriageways, the transportation modes, everything, those are called supply side, and the other side which basically controls the use of the private car and the encourages the use of the public transportation, that is called demand side of the traffic management. So, these two parts are important. So, now within the demand side of the traffic, you see these are the following elements. Now, we told that encouraging the public transport using innovative tariffs and the tax system. Now, normally in a city, people do not use the public transport unless the public transport is efficient, affordable and comfortable. So, the public authority has to make it or ensure that the public transportation is efficient, comfortable and affordable, and then discouraging the privatized vehicle by using different tariffs and tax systems, so that people are discouraged to use the car, so that they have to pay much more tax and tariffs. So, this kind of demand management is possible. Encouraging the and planning for more non-motorized transportation and walkability. The non-motorized transportation like e-rickshaws, like rickshaws, like and walkability, these do not contribute in making pollution in the cities by, because these are not non-emitting, and at the same time the non-motorized transportation, they do not take much space in the ground, but at the same time they share or they carry much more, I mean more number of people when it is compared to a private vehicle. So, therefore, non-motorized transportation is a, and also it creates a large amount of employment for the country like India. And walkability is unique because walkability ensures you to walk from your home to all the places where you need to go. So, the moment you encourage the non-motorized transportation and walkability, definitely your dependence on the car will be less. So, the planning and designing of our cities need to be such, so that the non-motorized transportation, the cycling and the walkability, these all are to be accommodated in the city, so that people are more encouraged to use non-motorized modes and the walkability. Third is the encouraging the shared mode. Even if in some of the cities there are some non-motorized mode of the auto rickshaws or the pooled car. So, those kind of practices which encourages the shared mode, that means many people can share one vehicle with distributed or divided tariffs. So, those kind of shared mode is also encouraging when we say the demand side of traffic, because our main objective is to take as less as possible the ground space and as more as possible accommodate the people within a vehicle. So, the road is for the people, road is not only for the vehicle. If the vehicle is there which carries a significant amount of people, then the vehicle can be allowed in the road, otherwise road is for the people. That is the main message. And fourth is the mixed land use and the compact development. Now, classically the urban planners, they have tried and they have propagated the segregated land use zones, and segregated land use zones means the residential zones, the industrial zones, commercial zones are different, and from the residential zones you are supposed to commute each and every day to your job location, that is the commercial zone or the industrial zone. But now the concept is that if we want to reduce the distance between your work and home, work and education, we have to break this concept of the segregated land use, and we have to bring some amount of mixed land use and compact development, so that the distance between the work and home is become less and more people are accommodated within the commercial district and the residential district when it is taken together as a mixed use district, and the distance between the residential and commercial is less. So, therefore, the mixed land use and the compact development is another demand side management, because using mixed land use we can reduce the number of trips, number of journeys in the city significantly, because in the segregated land use people are staying somewhere else in the distant area and they are commuting each and every day. So, apart from that, there are strategies for minimizing work home distance. For example, there could be the strategy like if any companies come to the city and they want to set up their industries or the business entrepreneurship, they are supposed to accommodate the office or the quarters, the residential quarters of their staff within their campuses or within their easy vicinity, so that the distance between the office and the home is less. So, those kind of strategies for integrating the residential accommodation or their locations in relation to the job location has to be taken, or this kind of strategies along with the mixed land use strategy can be taken. So, these are the demand management of the traffic, which is very important. There are many, I have just mentioned very few important demand management. On the supply side, we do take several strategies, including the first line of the supply side is making new roads, because city is expanding, population is increasing, and every new settlements, new population, they need new roads. So, the city, with the city expansion you need new roads. So, earmark the land for the new road. Now, for road infrastructure, one positive element is that if you acquire the land, or if you wish to acquire the land for construction of the road is the least resisted element which people do during the land acquisition, because road is something which is accepted by many people. And another reason is people know that whenever there is a new road, the surrounding land uses will get higher land value because of the road infrastructure. That is why making a new road is possible, but it is only possible if the city managers, they take initiative to identify the new roads along with the in compliant with the city development plan, and then acquire the land and construct the new road. Then only it is possible. Then not only new roads, augmenting the capacity of the existing road. Now, the existing road, sometimes they have the right of way, but the carriageway width is less. So, in that case the carriageway need to be increased. In some cases the carriageway is so less, even it cannot be possible to widen the carriageway, because the right of way is very less. So, in some cases we do acquire some amount of land to widen the road. Apart from that, the quality improvement of the carriageways and the cycle tracks and the pavements can be done. These are all the capacity improvement of the existing roads. Then directions control. Sometimes we find that the roads are not having the capacity to have all the traffic volume, because every road has in the last lecture we discussed that every road has the capacity to have the traffic volume. So, in those situations we control the directions, maybe from the two directional traffic we convert it to the unidirectional traffic, and we change the direction during the peak hour and the non-peak hours. So, those kind of controls we do as a supply side management. Then efficient public transportation. Now, we provide public transportation as efficient means and modes for the general people, so that they are discouraged to use the private mode of transportation, and making variety of transport modes. Apart from the public transportation, there should be variety of transport modes in public and private and the shared vehicle, so that people have much options and they can choose between the options. So, these are the supply side management of the traffic. Now, let us talk about the public transportation. We told you that public transportation is the backbone of a transportation system of a city, and it is basically the central theme of a city transportation. Now, public transportation consists of variety of modes. It can have buses, metro and light rail, suburban trains. It can have pooled car services. It can have paratransit services like the rickshaws and all those. It can have ferries and waterborne or taxis or the transport. It can have monorails and the tramways, and it can have cable cars, etc. Apart from that, there are various kinds of public transport like the school bus and the buses used for for transporting the employees of a particular company. All those kinds of facilities are also part of public transportation, which is available in the city. Now, the benefits of the public transportation, as we told you that public transportation ensures a affordable, comfortable and comfortable journey from one place to another place. Still we see that what are the other benefits. So, public transportation saves money, that is the first thing, because it is a shared vehicle. It is a safer way, because always the bus transport or the public transport is always safer from the private transport, because of this better design, its robustness, it is control system and everything, and it reduces fuel consumption because it is a shared and the efficient system, reduces the carbon footprint usually, and enhances the personal opportunities. Now, it means that whenever there are variety of public transportation like bus, MRTS, trams and other suburban railways, so it gives you much more opportunity to choose from the options. Public transportation provides economic opportunities for government, because government, if they run a efficient public transportation, a public transportation can connect one zone to another zone, very distant zone. For example, for Mumbai, they run the suburban railways, and the suburban railways from the city core to the distant area, they are connected, and because of this connection, not only the residential development, it is also the commercial and the business development is possible in a very distant area. Now, that is why the city grows along the transportation nodes. That is another reason. So, having said that, I would like to show some of the practices. So, few practices are like good practice. I told about the Mumbai suburban rail, Delhi MRTS, that is Delhi Metro Rail, is another very good example. The BRTS in city Ahmedabad, then Rajkot auto system, then traffic and transit management in Bangalore, then the then in recently one small city they have started the Facilica eco cabs, that is the shared kind of non motorized transportation, and non motorized transportation in Visakhapatnam city. There are many good practices which are coming up in Indian cities, but I have listed few, and out of that I am going to show some. Like in Mumbai, you know that it is a very vast system. It connects from the city core area to very distant area in all the directions, because this side is the sea, and it connects to the north, to the east, to also to southeast. And the ridership has increased from 2007 to 2011. Recently there were some mishaps in some of the stations, but the number of mishaps in a very large time period is very less. So, it is a fairly very successful system. And the speeds also they have improved from earlier it was 60 average 60 or 70 kilometer to 100 kilometer. New design led to 30% energy saving, and the revenue also increased by 47% by the government, and vehicles kilometer per day has been increased by 36%. So, this is how the suburban railway of the Mumbai city is operating. Then the another very important system is the Delhi Metro Rail system. Like any other large mega cities in the world, now Delhi Metro Rail has been also accommodating a large amount of traffic from various parts of the city. You can see the map here. You can see that this is the river Yamuna. This is a schematic plan of the metro railway. So, it connects from west to east across river Jamuna, and also it connect the north and south, and it also connect the cities like Faridabad. It connects the city like Gurgaon. It connects the city like Noida and Greater Noida. And also it connects the city like Ghaziabad. In west it connects Rohini, and also it connects the another township which is Dwarka. So, these are all new township which is situated around the main core city of Delhi, and every city is connected by the metro rail network, and because of this metro rail networks the people are, it is now possible from all the corners of the larger metropolitan area to commute and work in the core city of the Delhi within 1 to 2 hours of the transportation. Earlier it was not possible. So, key benefits of the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation or Metro Rail Service is that the increased ridership by 128% from 2008 to 2011, the earning per kilometer increased by 55%, reduction in 3 hours journey to 80 minutes. So, it is about more than 50% benefit, and increase of revenue generation by 200, more than 200% within 1 year, and generates income from the carbon credits from in foreign exchange. So, that is another very important element which very few cities could achieve that, and reduction in energy consumption by 23%, 23% from what was earlier. So, this is a very good system, and in coming years the network of the Delhi Metro and Metro Rail will be larger than what is existing, and it has been developed in a comparatively smaller time frame than the other projects which we did in India. So, Delhi Metro Rail is a better good practice in terms of its project implementation, its operation, its coverage, and its social benefit also. The next I would like to mention is the BRTA system in Ahmedabad. It is a very fast, reliable and secure high capacity service. The system carries about more than 1 lakh passenger daily with a fleet of 118 buses at peak headway of 152nd. So, you can see some of the pictures, like this is the BRTS corridor with the central facilities of bus stoppage and the sheds for the common people. These are some of the pictures again, and the other traffic is going in two direction, in other direction. So, this is going along the midway of the road, and you can see the other points, and increased ridership from 28% from 2011 to 2012. All buses recover operating cost up to 95%. This is something new, because earlier in all the transport companies the operating cost of the bus was not possible to be realized from the day to day operation. They could do it. Increased speeds by 24 km per hour, greater reliability, punctuality, and also customer satisfaction. Now, in India, the bus service in all the cities was not that good. After JNNURM in 2005, government tried to give good quality of the buses in the Indian streets, but if you do not have the good amount of the road condition or the good road track, I mean the good quality bus also cannot serve. So, this is a good example that where they could integrate and they could create a good amount, an efficient amount of road system and a better fleet in this BRTS Ahmedabad. Second is that in the city of Bangalore, they have also tried to integrate the provisions in the national transport policy in their traffic and transportation management. So, what they have done, they have constructed 10 modern mixed use traffic transit management center, which in the city provides the needed space for multimodal integration under one roof. So, therefore, the objective of this traffic and transportation center is to integrate all modes of the transportation, and which is segregated across the city in all corners. If you see the other cities, or in the earlier practice was that in the cities, if the railway transit is terminal is in zone A, the bus transit or bus terminal is in another zone, or the metro rail is another zone. So, they try to integrate all the modes of the public transportation and bring it under one roof, but this kind of transportation center is many numbers. Here the number is 10 and they have distributed across the city. Users can now park their cars and board a bus in one location. So, these are the park and ride facility they have done for the city. The upper floors of these depots were leased out for commercial purposes, generating revenues for Bangalore Mass Transit Corporation, which can be used for the upkeep or elsewhere in the buses. So, therefore, what they have done, that they have created or they have brought the other land uses like commercial and business land uses to make the project viable, so that along with the transportation the project becomes viable and people also get some amount of benefit from the other land uses. And I have told that they integrated the national urban transport policy provisions. So, here they have tried land use integration, and it is a financially viable system, and it is the very much convenient for the commuter. Some of the pictures you can see. Next is the I would like to mention salient points about the non-motorized transit. Now, non-motorized transits are basically, as I told, that these are a very good option when compared to the cars. Now, in India, fortunately many people they use cycle naturally, walking also naturally, but it is the role of the public authority to create such infrastructure like cycle track or some common track which will provide the space for cycle, the walkability and the non-motorized transportation, not only along the road, but also in the intersections in a integrated manner. So, those kind of facilities need to be accommodated in Indian road condition. So, some of the cities they have done such practices, and now currently the government of India they have identified the national the NMT in the National Urban Transportation Policy, and then they have mentioned in the National Mission for Sustainable Habitat that if we encourage more the NMT, the sustainable habitat, the objective of achieving sustainable habitat will be more fulfilled. Then Ministry of Urban Development they started the service level benchmark during the post Jawaharlal Nehru mission. Now they are continuing it in Amrut mission. So, in Amrut mission the non-transportation, non-motorized transportation is one of the very important thrust area where every city is supposed to accommodate and plan. So, apart from this public transportation and non-motorized transportation, there are various traffic controls and management system which you can adopt and you can study more, like we can have a road pricing. All the roads may not provide equal road pricing for all the commuters, there could be variable road pricing. The parking pricing is very common, like in India you might have seen that people park their car in within the carriageway and it creates bottleneck, it creates congestion. So, this should be discouraged, and they should be allowed the park the vehicle only on the designated place and also with the cost. Secondly, the public transport fare structure is another very important element. Now, all the fare structure can be variable based on the economic group, or it can be uniform and it can be integrated also, like fare in the bus system, metro system, rail system, all this management of the fares can be integrated. Then innovative measures like park and ride, I mentioned about it. Carpooling is also very important. Some of the taxi operators they now provide the carpooling facility in India also. Dial and ride, in this method you can dial and you can ride taxis or other vehicle. Then there could be regulatory measures like access control, parking management, traffic calming zones, pedestrianization and cycling, public transportation promotion areas, supplementary measures like urban traffic control, vehicle management system and other enforcement and regulation. So, this kind of various set of control and management you can adopt in your city based on the situation of your city. Now, usually after the city development plan and the zoning plan in the city, which is a mandatory requirement under the statute, we do formulate a mobility plan and other thematic plan for all the infrastructure. So, your job is to make a traffic and transportation plan for your city. A typical traffic and transportation plan will review the existing situation of the traffic and transportation, will analyze the potential areas where the city can build up and analyze the problem areas and issues, and then identify the future development and future roadmap for that development for another 5 or 10 years. It will clearly demarcate the supply side and demand side interventions in the city for the traffic and transportation, the identification of the new road, augmentation of the existing road, augmentation of the existing transport infrastructure, bringing new transport infrastructure, the mixed land use policy, the encouragement of the NMT and the walkability, all these policies and strategies will be taken care in an integrated manner in that traffic and transportation plan and the mobility plan. So, if you have not done that exercise in your city, so please do that, and that will guide the development of the traffic and transportation for your city. And since this exercise has already started for few of the cities, I hope that in near future our Indian cities also will have a better transportation network and the transportation management in terms of providing very easy, comfortable and efficient transit from one place to another place. So, with this I just summarize today. I showed few cases of the supply side and demand side management. We told that in the supply side and the demand side there could be various methods for managing the traffic and transportation. We showed few good case studies about the public transportation, and then we mentioned the significance of the non-motorized transportation. So, having said that, I would like to conclude today's lecture. Next lecture will be another very important element, that is that how we design the urban spaces. When we create a city or develop a city, there are buildings, and apart from the building there are urban spaces within the premises and beyond the premises, which are basically public in nature. Sometimes those places are transport related spaces, some spaces are recreational spaces. So, how to design those urban spaces, or even if you do not design, what are the salient features in the design you should not avoid to see, you should see those elements, those kind of things we will discuss next lecture with some example. So, thank you very much.